most watched news channel in Europe.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. It's a Wednesday morning, and today we're going to have a lot of fun talking about, we'll talk about race relations, but also we're going to talk about a museum here in town that is a very educational tool for all races, creeds, and colors. 436 Me TV, option 11. We're back in just a moment. Arts and culture is the focus here on the program today on Connect with Me on Me TV Fresno. And as usual, my friends, you're watching us, of course, on Comcast channel 187 and 43.6 and 13.1. Hey, those are the live broadcasts. But then later in the day, if you can pick us up, if you so choose, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 13.6, and then 8 o'clock tonight, again, at 4.6. Over-the-air broadcast, that's when these shows, or this show, that's when they all replay. Okay, not all of them, but the show that airs that day will replay during those time slots. Okay, how about the Twitter account? Well, here it is, at John Malos, Me TV. Now, today's program, Arts and Culture, we're talking about race relations. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, not only across the country, but right here in the Central Valley, and specifically here in the city of Fresno. But I also want to talk and focus on mainly about a learning center here in the city of Fresno that's been around for many, many years. The better part of 30 years now. It's a learning center for all ages, all races, creeds, and colors. I'm going to go to the videotape and show you exactly what I'm talking about, my friends. Let's go inside to the African American Historical and Cultural Museum of the San Joaquin Valley, and what a place it is. This is a non-profit organization that dates back to 1985 when Jack Kelly established the museum in downtown Fresno. Yes, it has been the anchor for African Americans here in the Fresno area, and certainly the hub of much activity for all ages. And yes, they give tours in January, February, and in March. Hey, what's that Lakers jersey doing there? But this place represents much more than that. It's a place where people can come and learn about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., what happened in Selma, or what happened to Rosa Parks, or Malcolm X. They can learn about some of the struggles of those people who paved the way decades ago so that this generation could thrive in a much more open and free society. However, there are still those struggles of today. Discrimination still a part of the fabric of our country, although, as many of us know, there have been many, many, many strides made with the first black president of the United States, as we all know. Live in our studio right now to talk about all this and that beautiful museum and the black culture and history of it all, and about race relations in general, is Gregory Melancon. He is the curator of that museum, and he is here to talk to you and to me about this and much more. Hey, hope you can chime in today. 436 Me TV option 11. One of the questions I guess I'll have is, have race relations improved here in this country based on what's happened, the first black president, and so on? Call in, weigh in. We're back with the program in just a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Top secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together Me TV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The yellow finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
Me TV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Glad to have you along, and this is a conversation that isn't going to go away, at least anytime soon. Talking about race relations, we're still talking about it even so many years later. I mean, I remember this kind of conversation when I was a small child back in the early to mid-'60s, and then the Civil Rights Movement, of course, came in, and then Dr. Martin Luther King, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, all the rest. And now, fast forward to 2015, seems like we're still talking about it. And the first black president is in the Oval Office. Gregory Melancon is here. We're going to talk about race relations, but right now I do want to talk about the African American Cultural Museum, and you are the curator. You're not the founder, but what does a curator do?
In our museum, what the curator does, he sets art shows.
Okay.
Basically, art shows in the gallery, because our museum is a twofold. We have a gallery downstairs, and then we also have a museum upstairs.
Okay.
So the museum stays the same because it's facts. And then in the gallery downstairs, we have different artists come in and show their work.
Oh, I see. I see. What are we looking at here besides, I think that's you, right?
Yes. Now, what we have, this is our spring, every spring, the beginning of the year, usually somewhere around March, April, we have our spring show. And this year we have the McGow Experience, and artist Michael McGow.
I see. I see. We're going to take a look at some of that artwork later in the program here. But, you know, I do want to mention that the curator is kind of like the caretaker, right, of the place, sort of?
Sort of, yes. And I'm also the historian, so I gather facts about the African Americans here in the San Joaquin Valley.
Yeah, but it's your job to take care of the place, make sure the artwork comes in, comes out, the proper information is being distributed out there about the museum and the artifacts such as these. What are we looking at here?
Right now, I think those are paintings. I can't see too close up. And then he has also some pencil drawings. He has some acrylics. He has 4 or 5 different mediums. He spent 38 years teaching in the Clovis district.
What is the African American Cultural Museum? What's the purpose, and what are you trying to accomplish? What goals do you want to accomplish with this museum? Is it a teaching tool? Is that it, or what?
Basically, I think when Jack Kelly put this museum together, it was to show the accomplishments of the blacks in the San Joaquin Valley. The people that, say for instance, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Rosa Parks, they all did their part in the movement in their respective cities. And then we have people here in Fresno who also led the marches, because Martin couldn't be everywhere, so it had to take a lot of caretakers. So there's a lot of different people here in Fresno that fought for civil rights. We housed a lot of the first blacks to break barriers and to get jobs in this city. And we housed that upstairs in the museum, and we called it the first. Like the first black fireman, the first teacher, the first African-American lawyer and judge. And if you think about it, a lot of people don't know that's only been about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
That, you know, that the groundbreaking, that the doors were open, that blacks were able to get jobs, professional jobs other than porters and maids and those type of jobs.
Okay, so the museum, I want to go to a piece of videotape that shows the crowd that was there last Saturday for an event. You can take a look at the video up on the screen and kind of describe for us here, Gregory, what this event was and what the purpose was.
Well, usually at our museum, when we have an art show, we show an artist's work. He usually has a reception. Okay. And at the reception, people come in, they view the work, A lot of times it's people that have known the artist through the years, and they get to have a reunion with the artist. They get to talk to the artist, and he can explain to them about his work. And in this particular entrant, Michael McGow taught in the Clovis School District 38 years. So, you know, and that's groundbreaking in itself that he's been out in Clovis that long. And he taught art.
Yeah, so this event was called what?
This was it was an art reception.
It was an art reception.
Yeah, the art reception for Michael McGow.
Okay.
And the name of the show was called the McGow Experience.
Gotcha, gotcha. A lot of people show up for that?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah. And he was so happy that a lot of his students came out, people he hadn't seen in 15, 20, and even one of the students he hadn't seen in 30 years.
How big's your building out there? How many square feet do you have? Your space?
I'm not sure exactly what the space is, but the gallery, I think it's probably about 1,500 square feet.
Okay, all right. So is there any plans to expand?
Well, there's some talk right now with the there's a partnership being built with the housing authority, and we're in talks. We're still in talks of finding money.
Yeah,
that's the biggest
donations.
Yes,
right, because
indeed.
it is a nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
Right, and money is kind of hard to come by, especially in this day and age. So,
and the arts have been hit real bad.
Right. Who comes to the museum?
Basically, art lovers, and then people that people are always interested in the learning about other cultures, so they want to know, you know, what that building is. What I found out a lot too is that in society now we have a lot of mixed cultures, and so sometimes they want to know about their side, that side of them. They want to know about black history. They want to know what do we do here.
But do you have whites and blacks?
Definitely.
Show up there?
We have whites, blacks. We have Chinese. We have Hmongs. We have we have a very diverse group.
Right. Hispanics.
Yes,
right.
Indeed.
All right. So it seems like you know, it's kind of across the board there. We do have a phone call. Let's take this. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Caller, go ahead. Caller.
Good morning. Yes, I'd like to ask your guest a question here. Do you think now that the president was the first black president, do you think he's done enough for African Americans, and not only African Americans, but you know, minorities? Period. You know, my feeling. I'm a 65-year-old Hispanic. There's a lot of things he could have done, especially for African Americans and minorities, to bring them together. You know, after the Ferguson and everything incidents or whatever, I think it kind of pulled them apart. You know, I'm not pointing fingers here and there, but do you, as an African American, think that the president has done enough to help African Americans or minorities for a fact? Okay.
All right. So, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate the question. Gregory, what do you think?
Knowing the judicial system, he may want to do more, but he has to answer to people, and there's always a vote. And if we look at what's going on in Congress today, they don't get much of anything accomplished. So, you know, they're so divided, and nobody is willing to compromise. And that's the problem with everything today. You know, you have to compromise. You know, you have to give some, you have to take some. Me personally, I'm kind of like, I haven't studied it enough to really say if he's done enough. I know there's been some bills passed. There's some the act that he did for the Hispanics, the immigration one with going to school or the kids that are here. That was
Right.
big.
You're talking about his amnesty program.
Yeah, that was big. But quite naturally.
But also it's in question now because the courts have put a halt to it. So.
Well, yeah, and a lot of blacks feel a lot of times that he hasn't done enough, you know, but my thing is one person can't do everything. We all have to do our part.
But there were so many promises prior to the election. He was, you know, there are some people who feel that the president should have closed the gap between the races, the blacks and the whites, and he hasn't done enough to do that.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, you can make a lot of promises, but you're not your vote is only one vote,
right.
And you have to get people to agree with you. And I just don't think I just think that they're so divided and they're so stubborn that they just won't. You know, they don't want to work with him in Congress,
right.
And if you don't work together, you can't get anything done.
Yeah, he blames them, they blame him.
Yes.
It's like tit for tat.
Yes.
You know, who's right, who's wrong, who knows at this point. Yeah.
And then
right.
when they have bills that want to be passed, then he'll say, "Well, I'm going to veto it if it comes across my desk."
Take another quick call here before we go to break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air with Gregory Melancon. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I was calling because I was watching the program, and I heard the gentleman ask the question of President Obama and if he had done enough. Mm-hmm. And I feel that he has done quite a bit. One of the things that has blessed my family is after being in a job all of my life, and then I got hurt on it, and of course you have COBRA for 3 years. But I couldn't get the medical insurance that I needed because insurance companies wouldn't take me. But because of the program that he put in place, now my family is covered under medical insurance. I'm a black female, and my husband has passed on, so it's just me and my children. But it's been a blessing to me. So has he done enough? He's doing quite a bit. My son just did a research paper on him, and just to know that he stopped the war and that he is the one who started the, well, he didn't start it, but he finished and put into act the Affordable Care Act. Osama bin Laden is no longer a threat to America. He's done quite a bit for African Americans, Hispanics, and all across the board.
But ma'am, let me interject here just for a moment. We're kind of short on time here, but I do want to mention the Affordable Care Act, which many people call the Obamacare, was not targeted specifically toward blacks or minorities or women or Asians. It was for everybody across the board.
Correct. But I was blessed by it.
Right. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for you. I think it's great that you're able to get coverage now. And can you afford it? Can you afford your coverage?
Yes, I can.
That's
yes,
great.
I can.
That's wonderful. And I'm glad you benefited from at least one thing that happened during the last 8 years that people can look at and say that, I do have health coverage now and I can't afford it. You can't be turned away, ma'am, for any pre-existing condition, and that's the good thing about Obamacare, right?
That's the one. That is one of the good things. Yeah. And I'll tell you this: I have a 12-year-old son, and now he says, "You know what, Mom? I can be anything that I want to be because I see we have a black president in office, and that's another blessing in my family."
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for your comments and your thoughts, and you're all welcome to call in and weigh in and chime in on the program today talking about race relations, and also the African American Cultural Museum right here in the city of Fresno. Gregory Melancon is our guest today, 436-MeTV option 11. Stay tuned. We're right back in a moment.
Watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the low-price leading brands reliable advice place. The Frigidaire Gallery Dream Kitchen Get Yours Today place. You with me? Right now, get huge savings on select Frigidaire Gallery appliances and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months at the hometown low price think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
All right, back here on the program with Gregory Melancon. I do want to roll another piece of videotape. It's on the artwork, and I want to talk a little bit about the artwork. And Gregory, you look at the monitor there and tell us what we're looking at here, and you can comment on some of the beautiful stuff that's hanging on the walls here at the African American Cultural Museum.
These are some of his pencil drawings.
When you say his, meaning?
Michael McGow,
okay,
the artist.
All right.
I'm not sure of some of this other work here, but basically he has, you can come down to the museum and he will be there to talk about his work and his paintings.
Okay, how often is he there?
He's there on Thursdays and Fridays.
He is? Okay,
yes.
Thursdays and Fridays only.
Thursdays
okay.
and Fridays.
All right, another piece of videotape is some of the artwork here. And, you know, I guess you can send all kinds of messages through artwork. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
And what are some of the messages that you see here coming from this artist, Michael McGow?
Well, you know, each artist has his own interpretation of the artwork, and what I see may not be what he's trying to interpret. So therefore, I really don't speak on artists' work. So basically, I don't. My views of what his art is I would like him to do that, other than me myself.
Right.
Because
and now there's a religious, obviously, a message right there. But what do you see coming out of his art? How do you interpret it?
I don't understand that question.
When you look at his art, when you look at McGow's art, what do you see?
Oh,
What's
what
the
I
message?
see,
What's
the message.
that's
I don't know
coming
if there's. He has so much different type of art. It's not one.
Well, give us one thing that you're taking out of it.
He loves people, and you can see in his artwork that he's a very diverse black man, because he has pictures of Hispanics, he has pictures of Chinese, he has pictures of black people. He loves people, and he's a people-oriented person. And even in his show, it showed that, because he had a very, very diverse group of people to come through. It's probably the most diverse bunch of people that we've had at the museum since I've been there over 5 years.
Right. And so the message that you see coming out of those paintings is what? Diversity?
Yes.
That's the main message?
That, to me, that's what I see in his work.
Right. All right. Some more paintings we're going to take a look at here. More artwork. We've got plenty of it. It's over there at the African American Cultural Museum. And here's another piece here. Very interesting and very colorful. I would imagine that's an African American woman right there, right?
It looks like a Hispanic woman.
Hispanic woman?
Yes.
Okay. Hard to tell at this point. Some of the, the glare coming off of the paintings there, it's kind of hard to tell. Now, what is that right there?
That is his signature picture, and it's a picture of the jukebox in the 70s. A young lady listening to music from the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then some more of the artwork that we see here and that we've actually seen before. And what is that in the middle there? Is that a tree right there?
No,
that?
That's a flower. It looks like a gardenia. That's what it looks like.
Okay, and then again the religious. So how many paintings does he have altogether?
At the museum in this show he has 45.
45. Then why, in God's sake, are we looking at the same ones over and over and over again? Why aren't we looking at 45 of them?
There may be.
Okay. That's not your fault.
No, not at all.
But we keep looking at the same ones over and over and over again. If there are 45, I'm just wondering why we're not looking at 45 different ones. Anyway, we keep looking at the same ones. We've seen this one before, so we can get out of this one.
He has a collection that may be part of the collection. There's like 4 or 5 pictures that were similar in his religious collection. He also has a collection of religious paintings.
Okay. All right. Hey, around the museum, now where is it located, Gregory? Give us the address, give us a website. How can people get in touch with you at the museum? And
we're at 1857 Fulton. We're a block off of Divisadero and Fulton.
I know where that is.
Yes, right in the Art District. We're about a couple blocks from Arte Americas.
Yeah.
Most of our museums in the Art District, they're building up that part of town. And it has been redeveloped very nicely.
I was just going to ask you about that. How has that helped your museum?
Immensely. I mean, you know, we've been there over 20 some odd years, and there were no one around us at first. We were down on that lonely corner by ourselves and across the street.
Since 1985?
I think we moved there in 88.
Okay, that's not the original.
That's not the original. That was not the original place that we started. So I think it was opened in 91.
Yeah, yeah. But the area is growing around it?
It has grown so much. Granville has built a lot of housing downtown there, a lot of condos, a lot of artist lofts type, artsy type buildings, and a lot of young people are moving downtown.
Right. How about race relations here in the city of Fresno? How would you describe them? We don't have too many problems here, do we? I know that the African-American population is about 9%, roughly speaking, give or take. How do you see relations here between, say, police and African-Americans or other cultures?
You know, I don't know. I don't get around a lot. I have friends that have kids. I have people that talk about it. Our problems are not as big as other places, other towns or people that are in the news. But I'm sure we have, you know, we have our problems also, but I just don't, I'm just not up on problems that it has arose.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Gregory Melancon is here. 436-MeTV option 11 if you want to weigh in and call in. We're talking about race relations in the African American Cultural Museum here in the city of Fresno. We got another half hour to go, so we'll talk a lot more about this topic in a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Colt as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
Ladies' Night was started in his honor. Bar stools pulled themselves out for him. The only thing Chuck Norris is afraid of is her. Cheers is the most memorable bar in the world. You may not always watch comedy, but when you do, watch Cheers.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
Back here with Gregory Melancon talking about the African American Cultural Museum here in the city of Fresno. If you haven't gotten over there to see it, you should check it out because, see, Black History Month is when? February, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, and did you have big crowds going through there in February?
No, we didn't have a big crowds this year. You know, we don't have a major staff there right now. You know,
okay.
Budget cuts have hit the museum pretty hard.
How can people donate if they want to help out? Because I know it's a nonprofit and you rely on private donations, and people should help out if they want to.
Yeah, they can, you know, come down to the museum. You know, we have when we have our art shows, we have Art Hop. You know,
right.
You know, they can get in contact with the website.
Right. All you have to do is Google the name.
Indeed.
And you'll go to the website. Very easy to find. The phone number is on there. The address is on there. Do we have any more videotape of the artwork or anything that we can show? We'll just go ahead and roll it now. And what do you plan for the future for the museum as a curator? What do you want to see happen? Any changes that you want to see?
Well, we would like to have a major show. We would like to have a major exhibit. We haven't had one of those in probably 10 years.
Right.
You know.
And this, of course, the artwork again from Michael McGow, and his artwork is up there now, and of course that's the Bay Bridge, or could it be the Golden Gate? Not sure, but great paintings right now. And his artwork, of course, has evolved over time. Very religious guy. There's a Statue of Liberty, of course, and you know, you can see kind of the diversity in his artwork, right?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah. That looks like a black man and a black woman there on the left, I'm assuming, and just beautiful, beautiful artwork that's on display right now. So you want to see this place get bigger. You want to see this place grow. It's been around since 1985, maybe not in the same location, but been in the Central Valley. And it's important to Fresno because
it's our history.
Yeah.
You know, and like I was saying, the museum houses local people. It houses the people that made Fresno happen, the people that helped build Fresno. You know, we have upstairs in the museum, you know, Jim Aldrich was the
former baseball player,
and also he was assistant city manager.
Yep. What about Les Kimber,
we
too?
have Les Kimber up there, Cecil Hinton from the Hinton Center. A lot of places that, you know, like Bigby Villa is an apartment complex on the west side. That was named after William Bigby. So therefore, at the museum, a lot of these places that have names, and you wonder, well, who was that or who is that? You know, the museum houses that information.
Right. Okay. Who influenced you in the early days? Would it be Muhammad Ali? Would it be Malcolm X? Would it be Dr. Martin Luther King? Everybody has somebody that they kind of looked up to besides a family member like their mother or their father. Who outside the family did you look up to?
Actually, it was a lot of the local people right in the museum upstairs. The pictures of the people that were on the walls. You know, there was John Shropshire, who was a dean when I was in Irwin Junior High School. Cecil C. Hinton, he taught me public speaking with the West Fresno Optimist Club. There was Jack Kelly, you know, him and his wife. They were part of different organizations and clubs on the west side.
Right.
I was very eager kid to learn things, and so therefore that's why the museum has such a passion for me, because when I look at those people on the wall and I look at how many years that they stayed true to what they were doing, and they died, and now their legacy is on a wall somewhere that other people can go in and find out about these people.
The legacy lives on. It can live on for a long time.
We have Hugh Goodwin. He was the first black judge, and then he also became He was first black lawyer, and then he became the first black judge here in Fresno County.
All right. Hey, I do want to talk about some race relations here, Gregory, and I want to put a picture up of Michael Brown, because last year he was shot and killed by Ferguson police. This is an issue that won't go away. It's been several months now. It's coming up on a year shortly that all of this happened. The country seems to this day divided as to what happened on that day in Ferguson when Michael Brown was shot and killed by Darren Wilson. You think we'll ever heal?
I would hope so.
I don't think we're there yet.
You know, no, we're not there yet, because there's still other shootings and killings going on. I don't know how they're trained, but can we shoot them in the leg or something, or is it always the shot of death?
Right, and of course,
I don't know, but a lot of times it just seems like, the one shot, they're dead.
Yeah. Well, this is Ferguson here, erupting. There's someone talking there to the Associated Press and some of the protests that have happened. But as you know, police officers are not trained to shoot someone in the leg or the arm. They're trained to shoot center mass and to kill. So, but besides that, it's, this is really an example of the racial divide in this country, is it not?
Yes. It is.
So how
divided.
do you close that gap? And I think we touched on it earlier. One of the callers called in and said, hey, President Obama has not done enough to close that gap. Blacks have their concerns, whites have their concerns. But this has been an issue, Gregory, that's been going on since I was a child.
But is it President Obama's duty? I mean, he's one person. It's all of our duties. We have to come together. We have to have the neighborhood watch meetings that turn not just neighborhood watch, but maybe there need to be neighborhood race relations meetings. I don't know what we need to do. Maybe we need to learn. I think a lot of it has to do with our cultures and not understanding or knowing us or being sensitive to one culture's needs and to another. I may understand someone raising his voice, a black man raising his voice. I may understand that, where someone else may look at it as being threatening.
Right. And then, of course, after the Michael Brown incident, we had Eric Garner in New York. Some people call it a chokehold. There's Eric Garner right there with his wife. Of course, he died on the streets of New York there at the hands of New York police. So this, not only, and there is the officer in question right there that actually grabbed Eric Garner around the neck or around the head, however you decide to look at it. I guess there are many people that think it was a chokehold, many people think it was a headlock. So you got that debate, and then you have the debate, well, again, you got white officers and a black man. So this fueled the fire.
Well,
fueled the fire, did it not?
It definitely does. You have so many instances of that. You have the Oakland one, the Fruitvale, the gentleman that was at the station, and he had no weapon at all.
Yeah.
You have one in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, a phone call here. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. What's your question?
Yes, I wanted to comment on this race thing that they're talking about today.
Go ahead. You're on here.
I really have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, to me, like everybody, I'm a black man myself, but they're talking about this police officer shooting this black guy. But do you know how scary it is in black neighborhoods or Mexican neighborhoods or ghetto? It is really scary. I grew up in them. So, I mean, for them to be wanting to blame white for being racist is wrong.
Okay, I appreciate your comment, but I'm not sure you were blaming anybody. I'm not quite sure where to go with that. Go ahead, Gregory.
I think he was making a comment.
Yeah.
He was just making a comment. But,
yeah.
Well, I grew up in the ghettos. You know, I live in black neighborhoods now, and sometimes it's alarming, but you know, you have to live. So I don't know. You know,
Is it scary?
It's not. No, it's not scary. But I mean, you know, sometimes if a car is coming by real fast or something, and you're not sure if it may be a drive-by or how they're acting, you know, sometimes you sort of be a little apprehensive. You're on the outlook. The policemen in the neighborhoods. They don't bother me, but I'm not the typical. I'm not a young guy. I'm not a young black guy walking the streets. And you find younger guys, they don't have cars or what have you. They may be walking the street. They may be going over someone's house. So, you know.
I guess he was saying the black neighborhoods are dangerous. And would you agree with that or not?
My neighborhood wasn't.
Okay.
You know, I was okay in my neighborhood.
You felt
know,
safe.
The black
yeah.
in all black neighborhoods that I've lived in, I was okay. I mean, you know, there's shootings in all neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
There's killings in all neighborhoods. You know, I'm just not a part of that crowd. I'd say for instance, I'm not a young cat anymore, so therefore I'm not in a group.
You're not a target
you
either.
know, yeah, I'm not.
You're not into gangs or drugs or anything like that either, so nobody's
that.
targeting you.
So you know,
specifically,
I see it.
Okay, another call coming in. All right. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead with your question.
Let me ask you a real quick question. You know, we're talking about race and whatever. Okay, it doesn't make any difference where you live. And I grew up in a gang area, but you know, let's put it this way: if you were in New York, on the best side of New York, where you know, and you had African Americans or Hispanics or Asians, whatever, going through the street, the way they look, because that's a thing. That issue. What gets me upset is, you can have the best kids in the world, but because of the way they dress and the way the people perceive them, especially in New York, where they put, you know, the rich people on one side or whatever, the police officer will go right at them, not even knowing what's going on, you know, or how they appear, you know. It's a race issue, whatever. But I'm not degrading anybody. What I'm trying to say is, it's the appearance that people put on other people, you know, and they don't know that person, you know. They will intervene. They will stop them, and they question them, and they'll ask for IDs. The division has not changed, no matter if it goes 20 more years. Martin Luther King had the best. I mean, I was sad when he was killed, but he did everything peaceful, you know. And they didn't, and they did not respect him as a person. Forget the color.
Okay, thank you. Comment, Gary? Gregory.
He makes a lot of sense in that. The appearance does, you know, when you wear the hoods or you have your sagging pants, you know, all of a sudden you're classed as a thug, and you could be, you know, that could be just, you know, that's your culture and that's the way they dress today, and everybody that dresses that way is not a gang member or selling dope, but sometimes they do profile you.
Okay, Gregory Melancon is here. He's the curator of the African American Cultural Museum here in the city of Fresno. And we're going to be back with our program in just a moment. Stay tuned.
The Ballad of Andy and Barney. Andy and Barney were lawmen, bravest you ever did see. Warned every crook in the record book to stay out of Mayberry. They were the law.
Yes, they were the law, and they didn't know fear.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I guess to sum it up, you could say there's 3 reasons why there's so little crime in Mayberry. There's Andy, and there's me, and baby makes 3.
Now on MeTV Fresno.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, Who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Tune in to Heartland for the best in true country music. Relive vintage specials, one-of-a-kind concerts, and country music's earliest videos. Heartland is the heart of country, the only place where you can find country music, country stars, and country lifestyles 24/7. Heartland, the heart of country.
Now on channel 13.2.
Talking with Gregory Melancon of the African American Cultural Museum here in Fresno. He is the curator, and I do want to ask you a couple of more questions about race relations. Of course, you got a police officer in Ferguson just recently shot by someone who was actually caught. Then you had the police chief in Ferguson resign. Darren Wilson was not prosecuted in the Michael Brown shooting. All of these events that have happened, what are you getting out of these events? What message are you getting, Gregory? What do you look at?
Basically, when an officer says that his life is, he fears for his life, you know, that gives him a right to shoot.
Right.
You know, but I mean, you know, it's his word against their word, and basically, the authorities' word is always going to topple our word. You know, so I don't see that unless we as a group come together and sort of mend our feelings that it's going to continue to explode because we don't feel like we get an even break.
Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
He's talking about ghetto. I'm from East St. Louis. I was the only white kid in my class up to the 6th grade. These guys all claiming about wanting to break and everything. We don't owe them anything. It was their own people that sold them to us as slaves. Why ain't they bitching about that?
Okay, you still there, caller?
People, uneducated people, that's what it's about.
All right, do you want to comment?
That's his opinion. I'm not going to get into a debate with anybody about his opinion.
Right, okay. All right, I appreciate your comment. I appreciate your call. There has been a call by some people about reparations for African Americans. What do you think about that? Because of slavery, of course.
You know, there's certain things that I don't get into a debate about. Right. You know, and how I feel about it is not going to make a difference in what has happened.
But
there's
your opinion counts like everyone else's.
Well, you know, in reparation, they have tried to put a bill through Congress. I mean, they've done things for that, but it just seems there's so many of us, and I don't think that people understand it well enough to understand what the system has created from slavery till today. You know, and it's a much bigger issue than just speaking about it or touching on, and everybody has an opinion about it.
Right.
And if people don't get together and form groups to send bills to Congress, you know, to send bills to get up with a voice. Martin Luther King got up with his voice, and he got people together, and they marched, and they talked, and they walked, and they ran. They did everything that they could, you know, at a time. When there was a lot less going on at that time. People seem to have done more. And I say that all the time, that when we had less, we did more. And here it is today. People are angry all over about lots of things. President Obama is one man. I think he did an exceptional job at what he did. And as far as counting what he did for blacks or what he did for Mexicans versus what he did for whites, I think he was a president for everyone.
Right.
And at a time when he came in, the country was hurting monetarily. We were on a verge of, I don't know where we were going, but it wasn't.
I think
gut.
as far as reparations are concerned, there are a lot of people in this country at this time who believe, hey, you know, I wasn't here. I did not create slavery. I wasn't a part of it. It was before I was born. Didn't happen during my time. You know, money should not come out of my pocket as a taxpayer to pay for reparations for something that I had nothing to do with. Make sense?
I'd have to study that more. It sort of makes sense in one sense, but at the same time, if reparations were given to other people for their struggles, then you can't do for one and not do for the other, or say that their reason,
Right.
It was just the whole situation in itself. You're talking about a group of people that were brought over here unwillingly, and other people who were able to come here willingly to get rid of what were being done to them in other countries, or what people were doing to them, and they got to come to America and become and build and be free.
Yeah.
We didn't come here free.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's a whole different ball of wax. It's a whole different ball game to me. And so therefore, when people make comments and make harsh comments, or just make comments that really doesn't make much sense, I don't care to comment on them.
Yeah.
And that's not, I'm not a race relations. I'm just a citizen in the town.
Right.
And when you say your opinion counts, well, my opinion really is my opinion.
Yeah, but it counts. Just like the callers that call up here, it's an opinion show. People call up and they offer up opinions.
That's true.
And that's what this program is all about. It's to get something off your chest.
Oh, definitely.
And like the caller that called in, he felt, well, okay, here's my opinion about this, and he voiced his opinion as you are voicing yours. Nothing wrong with that. 436-ME-TV, option 11. If you want to voice your opinion, you are welcome to call in. We've got an open line. About 10 minutes left here in the program on Connect with Me. Back in a moment.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean. Frigidaire Gallery.
Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Attention all units. We have reports of 2 motorcycle cops protecting California's highway.
That's for us, good buddy.
The Men of Chips are on MeTV.
Hi, I'm John Baker. I'm John Baker. It's Officer Baker.
He's the blonde one.
Hi there.
Officer Poncherello, man.
Frank Poncherello.
Oh, I'm Frank Poncherello.
And he's the one who's Eric Estrada.
There's no way I wouldn't remember a name like that.
Catch the blonde one and the one who's Eric Estrada.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
You can find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
We're back here talking about, well, race relations. We're talking about the African American Cultural Museum here in the city of Fresno, and we're glad that Gregory Melancon was able to drive all the way from Los Angeles today to be here, and we really appreciate it, Gregory. You're a second-time guest here, so appreciate your time. Hey,
Yes.
caller, are you there? Go ahead. You're on the air.
I'm here. Why is it that you can have a black channel, and if we had an all-white channel, like BET You guys have a black channel called BET. Now, if we had an all-white channel, you guys would be crying about something. And why are we paying for something that didn't have anything to do with us?
Okay, thanks for the question. Thanks for the call. Go ahead, Gregory.
I don't know what he's talking about.
He's talking about BET, Black Entertainment Television. He's talking about the African Americans having their own channel. If whites had their own channel, there'd be an uproar. I guess that's the question.
They don't have their own channel?
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, the only reason why it's BET because it has themes of things that black people want to see that they're not showing on other channels.
Right.
That's the reason. It has nothing to do with BET shows people who want to look at black cinema. People want to look at black comedy, and that's why they have that channel. It has nothing to do with...
All right, caller, are you there? Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yes, I have a comment. Your program uses the word Hispanic a lot, and in my culture, I consider myself a Chicano, the same as a Mexican American. My father always considered himself as a Latino, because he was the Mexican descent. And most of the people of Mexican descent always would accept Latino, because Hispanic was a word that came out in the mid-'70s describing people in Latin America. A lot of people get upset about it. Some don't, some do. But I prefer to call it Chicano or Latino because it serves my heritage of the Mexican culture. But your program always uses the word Hispanic, and it kind of, well, it's just your privilege, but I just don't accept it.
Okay, well, we're just trying to be politically correct here. That's all. I mean, it's like you. I mean, call you an African American instead of black or whatever. Well, it's just being politically correct. Isn't that what everybody is trying to do these days? In fact, let me ask you the question, since we got about 2 minutes left. What do you think about political correctness? Some people think we've gone too far.
Well, just like the gentleman said, there's some people that don't want to be referred to as African American. They want to be referred to as a black person.
Right.
And some people don't. I guess it's whatever you feel, whatever works for you. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I'm an African American and I'm also black. So therefore, it works for me. That is not, the title is not what I'm standing for anyway. It's the work that I do while I'm here.
Hey,
it's
listen,
my involvement.
I got news for you. You know what? We might be a little different on the outside. We're all the same on the inside.
Indeed.
Everybody has a heart. Everybody has a kidney, a brain, a pair of legs.
And all the blood is red.
Blood is red, as far as I know. I mean, I've never seen anyone with any blood with any other color other than red. Have you?
Nope. Not at all.
So basically, we're all the same.
Indeed.
Gregory Melancon, I appreciate you coming in from Los Angeles, sir.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure seeing you this morning. I'm glad you made it safe and sound and drive back safe.
I will, and I appreciate you having us here on behalf of the African American Museum.
Go out there and see it. It's out on Fulton, right?
Yes, 1857.
All right, 1857 Fulton. That's going to do it for us today here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Tomorrow, we're going to have the people from CAL FIRE. Remember, they used to be the Department of Forestry right here in the state of California. They changed the name. They changed the patch. It's now CAL FIRE of California. They'll be in here for the first time. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want. Save now on Frigidaire's Advanced Affinity Laundry Pair. Let Frigidaire save you energy, water, and time. Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.